How far are you willing to go for the gospel? Hi, I'm David, and I want to help you go further on your faith journey. And if you'd like to travel with me going verse by verse through the entire Bible, please consider subscribing, hit the bell icon, and that'll let you know when all the new videos come out. You know, I often wonder what kind of difference we could make if we were 100% sold out for Jesus Christ, that we would follow him no matter what the cost. In Philippians chapter 2, Paul has a very future mindset. He talks about the day of Christ. He talks about the time where he's going to cross from this life into the next. And that's in full view as he's writing these words to us. In Philippians 2:17 it says, "But even if I am being poured out as a drink offering upon the sacrifice and service of your faith, I rejoice and share my joy with you all." Because of Paul's zeal for the gospel, he faced imminent death. And even though it was a little time before he was actually put to death, he still had that right on the horizon as he's writing to the church in Philippi. Paul was well aware that his faith would cost him something. And he was more than willing to pay that cost and to preach the gospel wherever he had the opportunity. And as he weighs the price that he'll eventually pay, he says, this is absolutely worth it. If I'm being poured out as a drink offering on the sacrifice and service of your faith, he realized that his goals, the things that he was accomplishing, were much more precious than the things that he was giving up. This is so good. Paul was so concerned about eternity and seeing another person cross from death into life that he even thought of his own life as forfeit if it allowed that to happen in the life of someone else. He goes so far as to say that he rejoices if even his suffering causes faith to grow in someone else. If he's poured out, if he's emptied out of everything that he has, if it allows someone else to gain the faith and to see them cross from death into life and become part of the family of God, to go from an outsider to a child of the King. He says, if that can happen, then anything that it costs me to see that happen is well worth it. I wonder what it would be like if we all picked up that same call, that same passion. If thousands of people all over the world stood up and said, God, no matter what the cost, I'm going to preach the gospel and proclaim the gospel to the far corners of the earth. But that comes full circle back to us. How far are we willing to go so that someone else can have an eternity of life with God? I think far too often we're Christian consumers. We love the spiritual product that we get. We go to church, we feel great, we live by the Bible, and it does great things in our life. But far too often, we forget that this is a mission, that God has us here for a purpose, and that we're here to be lights in a dark place. So instead of consumer Christianity, what if we were renegades? What if we really took the gospel of Jesus Christ at face value and shared it with our neighbors and with our coworkers and to people on the other side of the world if possible? How far are we willing to go? How much are we willing to sacrifice for his honor and his glory? Hey, thanks for spending a few minutes with me in God's Word. If you want to travel with us as we go verse by verse through the entire Bible, go ahead and hit subscribe. That way you'll know when all the new videos come out. Throw a like on this video and share it with somebody you think may need it. And we will see you guys tomorrow.